game insurance that we've seen from the likes of Evos from BRU. Instead, yeah, they're running it back, going back on the composition that they'd like to go for. And with this Gragas, you know, it just makes a better Yasuo composition if they want to pivot to it in the last 2 picks.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Vi is that it's very just a lot of focus towards a single target, but there is a little bit of that leeway for the big AoE last breath setups if the Gragas is going to be involved. So again, Team Secret definitely can go for the Yasuo once more. SBTC having that Lantern, having to remove the safety of the Vi after an engage escape has been initiated. So with this though, Ziggs still can be towards mid lane or towards Carol here on SBTC.
I think this is a huge power move from SBTC to ban or take away the Thresh, because frankly that's one of the main escape tools for the Vi. Without that, Vi is kind of stuck. You don't have any option except to just dive deeper in. You need a team that can follow up with you there. If they lock in this Yasuo, I mean that's Team Secret saying full on chips pushed to the center of the table saying we're all in, and SBTC, well, now they need to figure it out. Is this a bluff? Do we call for this? What kind of hand are you repping? And if you're looking at the hand you're repping, well, I have aggression here. I have the Lee Sin with TF. I have a strong Baron laner with the Darius. And now I have late game with a Kai'Sa. Okay, my hand is pretty good. Let's call you, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, the scaling of SBTC is just incredible. Kai'Sa on Carol and as well as the Ziggs here on Julie. Everyone is basically going to hurt. Well, on the side of Team Secret, they do have a decent amount of scaling, but there is that, I wouldn't call it overkill. There's just a lot of physical AD damage sources on the side that, you know, SBTC can properly itemize against. They still have the Gragas on Hamis, though, for that magic damage, but that is definitely only towards the early to mid game.
Now, we're going to see if Team Secret can pull through for game number 2, but SBTC Esports are looking very good indeed. It has been a really, really close series game so far between these two teams. So as we head into match number 2 between the Vietnamese region and the Philippine region, we're going to see which team comes out on top. Casters, over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Mika and TJ. I love the drafting phase. I think we were discussing about it, and we look at so many of all these high priority target bans out there, locking away many of these champion pool over on the Baron lane, so that there is even more to talk about here with Tatsuri coming in back with the Yasuo.
Yeah, you get two sides of it, right? Because you have SBTC very clearly knowing what's up in the top lane. Both teams, I think, a little bit scared of each other's Baron laners. And so there's a big focus up there. You also have Team Secret coming in here and going, you know who the best player on SBTC is? Oh, this is a fun setup.
Oh my.
Chewie just waited in the bush for Akana to get aggressive here. Wow, what a good read by Team Secret. That is incredible. They knew exactly what was about to happen, and they set up for it so far in advance.
Yeah, and immediately after having all the skirmishes, they drop SBTC members down low and immediately sends Fiora into the rotation down to the Dragon lane. Now, let's also have a look at how this is going to be synergizing here, but TF's going to be dropping right by. This might look to be pretty grim for Team Secret, who has to fall back. Flash is available for Hamis to get right away. Dodges the death sentence.
So, yeah, this is how this game's going to play out. You're going to look at TF on his kind of trademark Lee Sin. TF is quite possibly the best jungler in the world. His Lee Sin is the stuff of legends. Vietnam Lee Sins always are. So you're going to be looking at TF to find an early impact, to get an early advantage on the map. And I would most expect that lead to be thrown over towards the lane with the Darius in it. And that will be the Baron lane currently. So we'll see if TF heads up there after these Raptors. The other thing I want to touch on, as I was kind of talking through the draft, is that Team Secret are so hard focusing out Julie. They forced him onto Ziggs, which is a very hard nerf for such an aggressive duelist player. And Tatsuri does that by taking away the Yasuo for the second game in a row as a pick. They also banned out both Ari and Galio, which are the other two most played characters on Julie this tournament. And they're going to, this game, have a little bit better of a setup, as this was touched on, of course, by the analysts over on the desk. They will have Hamas playing his Gragas, which means you can throw in those casks and get like 5-man Yasuo ultimate, 5-man Last Whispers, which will be absolutely incredible if they can sync that up. That's also going to be, as Riku was talking about, AP Gragas. The Senna will not be taking any of the farm down bottom again, just as SBTC were running it last game. Hummers and Chewy down bottom are going to be players to watch as this game goes on, because the scaling that the Senna can build is going to be very important for Team Secret. And we've got to pay attention as... Sorry? We've got to pay attention as this goes on to the way that they're going to synergize around Tatsuri, because Chewy and Hamas are both going to take a while to get going, whereas Tatsuri wants to have basically all of the resources of this team poured into him. He's probably going to show up around the mid game. The Team Secret take a while. They need some time to get started.
That's right.
So SBTC really want to be scoring points during these first 5 minutes, and as yet we're not seeing it.
Exactly so, and Team Secret currently has to secure this gold crab and immediately smites it off. Well, of course, we will have the Herald spawning. Well, Team Secret has already sent a few members right across. This is going to be a really good chance for TF to also be able to snatch this away. They do have vision being set inside of the pit. Now, Azar's going to join right in. And SBTC possibly looking for a really good angle for a flank. They will have the assault battery connecting onto the trash. I can now lock right in. Johnny Shadows out there, and Azar will have to fall right back. It's the first blood going over to Team Secret. Well, they have TEF still going on the chase. While a dunk comes in, Azar will still survive. And nobody gets their hands on the Herald just about yet. Tatsuri flashes over the wall, and he gets the kill onto TF.
Incredible play from Tatsuri to get a second kill at the end of that, as he manages to get over the wall and pick up so much for his team. 2 kills during that fight, and as we were talking about, that's exactly where Team Secret want the gold to be going. The earlier that Tatsuri gets resources, the earlier that Tatsuri gets on the board, the better it's going to be for this team.
That's right, and it seems to be a pretty tough call right across. Well, we do have pretty much good areas of play for SBTC to still be able to look for advantages.
Yeah, and while I know you're sorting out some tech stuff on your end, why don't you let me know when you've sorted that out, and I'll just monologue for a bit here.
All right.
As this Rift Herald does get focused in on by SBTC, they're going to play very aggressively, and Yunaro's fishing here. Trevor over the wall to try and contest, but it is secured by TF. In the midst of all that, Tatsuri comes in. Big last whisper, and TF's got to back away, but he's back in. Tatsuri doesn't find the kills, and SBTC walk away with the team fight as TF hovers round the side and sets up for Kiro, sets up for Julie, and runs away with a massive early game swing. Exactly what SBTC needed to do in exchange. Shutting down Team Secret, and they're going to keep rolling. Wow! SBTC right onto this dragon as well. Mountain Dreg picked up now is going to continue to skew that gold lead. They're now sitting at around 2,000 advantage on the map. And Team Secret lost a whole lot of what was making them special, a whole lot of what was giving them that early lead, being onto Tatsuri. It doesn't mean they're out of this game, though, because remember that so much of what they draw from is their mid to late game. It's once Chewy comes online, it's what Hamas really hurts with this AP Gragas down bottom, and we're not there yet, but we will be. You can see Ludin's Echo just got completed by Hamas. He's now having to defend 1v4, 1v5 as all of SBT step up, but it's a big explosive cast. And Akado's forced away, barely alive. Through the front lines goes TF. Him and Yadera Kiril able to find the kill, shutting down Trevor. And this Rift Herald's still going. It gets 2 charges off, and the SBTC lead continues to grow.
It's a beautiful fight being brought right there, and SBTC Now, having such a great opening over across the map, and thanks for CJ for covering some of the team flats for me while I settle out some of these tech issues. But I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad to have you back, Contra. As this is kind of skewed away from Team Secret now. This is a very hard game for Team Secret to bring back under control. They need to win a pretty major fight around this 10-minute mark, because this is going to be the strongest they're basically going to be all game at this rate. SBTC are doing what they fundamentally want to do, which is take over the early game and run this game home before Team Secret come online.
Yeah, and so far, Team Secret could only rely on the ultra late game, but the problem is to sustain through all of these potential team fights that can come from SBTC is going to be pretty difficult. There's a turret trading going on, and Team Secret might actually lose 2 turrets from this push of SBTC. It's really all
Hard shove in.
And the rest of the Team Secret, they're going right in, setting up the last breath for himself. Tatsuri will be able to lock them out, and it's a killing spree for Carol. Emily shuts him down. Team Secret, a tad too late to the party.
They put all their eggs in the mid lane, and Carol says, that's fine, I'm going to get my trademark Kai'Sa. I'm going to play the character that SBTC got all the way through the Summer Super Cup with, and I'm going to absolutely dominate. This is the duo. TF's Lee Sin, Kiral's Kai'Sa. They will open up the early game with 2-3 kills and just end the game before Team Secret come online, and they're doing exactly that here in the semi-finals.
And it's just great to see how SBTC is just feeling so confident heading to game 2, especially having such a tough fight against Secret back in game 1. This is a very different momentum that we're looking at, and as we look at the optimization, it's just going to be pretty difficult for Team Secret to be able to find those resources to get back on track.
19 seconds on this Baron, so that'll be kind of the next important marker here. We're talking about Team Secret finding the resources to get them back on track. It comes from these team fights, and specifically, you don't normally want a Yasuo composition to rely on this, but specifically, it's going to come from the combo. You need to land a big explosive cask, turn it into a big Yasuo last breath, and if you can do that, then Team Secret can win a team fight. The characters that need to be caught in that combo are going to be Kiral and Julie, and then to do all that while mitigating the access that TF has. Because even though we're heading towards the late game, you might be like, well, this Lee Sin's falling off. Not TF's Lee Sin.
Not at all.
He's gonna really hurt.
And look at him go. He's just taunting them to say, chase me if you can. And really goes right into the Dragon Pit. And Team Secret knows that this is absolutely off limits. We'll let this one slide. So SBTC, now with 2 Drakes, they're feeling even greater to even take them on up mid.
You know, the big thing that TF is doing there is he's trying to bait flashes, he's trying to bait engage. Basically, anything that Team Secret used to try and engage onto TF is going to be stuff they don't have to get over the wall into the pit. So it's really well played by him to make that call. And now they're going to try and turn this momentum to the Baron.
And it's a great snap sentence coming up from Aquino. Now they will pick out Trevor. He could not cross over the wall, even with the solid battery. Now another great hook lands. It's the Thrasher doing all the dirty work with the flay as well. Now Team Secret has to fall back. SBTC coming with the perfect picks.
Very well played, and Arkano, as you rightly call out, dominating that fight on the Thresh, landing 2-3 consecutive hooks and making sure that Team Secret just don't get to play on the defense.
Not at all, and just look at how scary SBTC Esports is. Like, you mentioned about how TF could easily just set things up, and he's not going to fall off because it's just TF on this Lee Sin that looks all too godlike. Now you have to also worry about potential flanks and also Aquino with those kind of hook. It's going to be so difficult, and Tatsuri might have to burn up his wind wall very early, and that's an opening for SBTC heading to another good round.
Yeah, and I don't want to call this game over just yet, because Team Secret are playing a late game composition, so you can never quite count them out. But this is a pretty dominant advantage to SBTC, and going into a game 3, which is where we kind of need to be looking right now, I need to see Trevor step up. Because this is the second time he's been on Vi, and frankly, it's been underwhelming both times. If Team Secret want to have any kind of control of this early game, the area where SBTC have now blown them out of the match twice in a row, they need to have something that can do damage, stay even with TF during the early game, and Trevor's Vi isn't delivering.
I have to agree, and you just look at this entirety of the composition, you're relying too much on Azar as well as Tatsuri to be able to dish out all those sort of DPS, and Chewy still needs a lot of time to actually get those stacks on, but here comes Trevor. Now, moving on top of Julie, cancels out the Assault Battery as he turns golden while the root comes in. Now Tatsuri tries to find that kill, and it's Yunero that gets chunked down, hit first. Now Team Secret got what they needed, but TF is still connecting with the kicks. Still looking for the pick though. Hamas tries to hold the line. Now Chewy has so little help left, but he'll be able to trade right back. It's Azar getting another, and with the exhaust, they might be able to catch up against Tatsuri. He will eventually fall. Team Secret having so little health left, but they will hold back SBTC.
Wow! Chewy's roots, Chewy's ability to hit three-man center roots single-handedly slows down that fight and allows Team Secret down almost 10,000 gold to trade even throughout that entire sequence. And we don't have time for a replay here because this Baron is about to be started. Here's SBTC burning through it, setting up for it. Their jungler is up. And he's going to teleport right in. Here comes over the wall.
Connects once again. Akano there, setting things up perfectly. And with that hand, they bring Azar over to the wall. And it's a challenge here onto Yunero, but they won't be able to do much with so little health left on Azar. SBTC now works on that Baron, but Hamas is still crawling right in. Can't keep Secret. Manage to steal. Here comes Tatsuri. Here comes the boss lab as well. They all connect, and they all will get locked up in the stone. Akano now will be hyping them alive for only Sliver, so slightly Azar with a double kill as well. DF goes down. It's a chance. Team Secret have they stolen it, and now it's 1v1. Azar, he gets a quadra kill.
Azar gets a quadra kill, and Team Secret steal the Baron. What a turnaround! Team Secret managed to hold on to the game. Azar stealing the Baron. 4 kills on Fiora, and SBTC are losing all their turrets. They're going to lose this Infernal Drake. Take another look at this. It's a flash belly slap combo to set up for Tatsuri's ult. The fight splits, and Tatsuri goes around the side, focusing the damage dealers. He and Azar clean up Julie. Azar goes over the wall, cleans up TF with Tatsuri, and then manages to kill Kirill and the Baron. It's target calling at its finest. It's team fighting at its finest, and it keeps Team Secret in this game.
And look at this. This is absolute madness. You just saw how Azar has been able to move right in, fighting it all the way through the tri-bush and hops over that wall, while Chewy, he was stuck with the Baron, but he bought so much time for the team as well, giving a little bit more sustain in that couple of seconds, and that is definitely one of the biggest plays I've ever seen from Team Secret. Now they're marching right in, with only Azar holding on to the Baron buff right now, and Team Secret, they're still looking for an opening right here, and they get that knockup and be able to connect with the last breath. Absolutely obliterates this trash, while Chewy flashes over, and Tatsuri almost connect with another tornado.
And that's support for support. Tatsuri able to find the front line, but he ults Akano. And if I had one criticism of Team Secret's play, it's that they keep dumping spells into Akano. We saw it last game with the Malphite. We see it this game just now. Whereas if you're able to provide more backup for Chewy, Akano's not the threat. TF is the threat. TF's able to walk through the back line of that fight and kick Chewy forward into danger without being punished. There needs to be less focus on the support, more focus on the very scary Lee Sin. Thank you very much.
Indeed, and you just look at this Lee Sin, he's going full damage build. He's perhaps moving into a Guardian Angel eventually with the BF sword already there. Just needing to create space. SBTC honestly have to play better team fights, and you just look at that position, looks a little bit too awkward to me, where SBTC kind of had this sort of opening, they had to decide whether they want to full commit to the Baron or that team fight.
Here we go. Trapper's just gonna full commit. He goes in.
Steps down in, Assault Battery. Here comes Dawning Shadows as well. And the first one to fall might just actually be Akino, but he buys so much room for SBTC. Here comes TF, and with the killer instinct, the dive! It's gonna be the entirety of Team Secret running for their lives. Tatsuri gets chunked out, the slam, and that axe will find Chewie as well. SBTC will find ways to march right into the Nexus, and it's only going to be travel here to hold the line, and this is going to be a lot more difficult than they think it will be, and there's still minutes for SBTC to work upon with all the members out from Team Secret. SBTC now locks in that match point.
Game number 2.